What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the opinionated hippie. Still have blepharitis, but it looks really good today. Days within taking the glasses off. Continuing my deep dive into Neil Young and his just endless series of ridiculously great must-hear live albums. We have a 1997 release. I just talked about Broken Arrow. This is the live album that documents the tour of Broken Arrow, documenting the 96 tour, essentially from May through November. Two CD set. What do we got on here? I think we have three big Broken Arrow songs. We really only have a couple what I would call sort of like Neil Young classics. Pocahontas is on here, but it's an electric version of Pocahontas. The melodies delivered in a slightly different way. We get Mr. Soul, but yet another version of Mr. Soul, which continues to make me think it is the perfect, most endurable, can work in any setting song Neil has written. I'm always excited to hear Mr. Soul. And kind of nothing else is like everything else seems like, oh, this is cool. Oh, this is cool. Just the track list alone, you're like, oh my gosh, we got a When You Dance I Can Really Love. We got a Barstool Blues. What else do we have? We have a Pocahontas, always a treat. We have a Danger Bird again. We got some great deep tracks. Prisoners of Rock and Roll. We got a cool mix of stuff. And then you listen to it and you're like, this is a 6.5 minute version of When You Dance I Can Really Love. And every time I say that this song is a lot longer than the original version, just tack on some crazy instrumental grunge jam that's just full on Neil strangling his guitar and choking his guitar and attacking his guitar while the rhythm section just pounds away just relentlessly. And it's just sounds like chaos at times, but it's completely under control in a weird Neil Young crazy horse sort of way. So when I say it's a 6.5 minute when you dance, just add a whole bunch of guitar playing. When I say it's a 9 minute Barstool Blues, add a whole bunch of guitar playing. Only this jam, I would say, is even more intense than sort of the three main jams on Broken Arrow. This one taps into that sort of Velvet Underground, Sister Ray, just primal pounding, while Neil just like makes noise sort of energy. Like whatever they were doing on Broken Arrow, they took it to the stage and like, well, we can do this better live, and we're going to do it with songs like Barstool Blues. Another song that makes me think of Built to Spill. It's just moments like that. It's just absolutely fantastic. Danger Bird, 13.5 minutes long. Just absolutely fantastic. A fantastic listen. If I have a complaint, and I'm going to throw out my one complaint now because I want to show that I'm just not this complete sycophant and that like I actually have my own independent thoughts and I don't just worship at the altar of Neil, no matter how well deserved it continues to be. My only complaint is usually Neil is pretty good about preserving what the track list looks like in the release. This is a little wonky for most of this entire tour. Hey, Hey, My was the opener. I'm glad that's not on here. Not that I don't absolutely love that song, but we have versions of it. Let's get something fresh. And Pocahontas was almost always second. Here, it's like sixth. I don't think they should have put it first because there wasn't a Hey Hey My. I don't even think it should be second. I don't think it works second. I think it needs to go much later in a set because I think it's powerful the way it works here. So that's my one complaint, is you lose a little bit of the integrity of what the actual show is like. But this is so well sequenced. The first disc is perfect. The opening, 28 minutes of the second disc is some of the brownest Neil ever gets. If you're a Ween fan, you get the reference. It's just like that almost sludgy, dark, despairing, almost like it's going to fall apart but never does vibe for like 28 straight minutes. You are just in the smokiest, haziest room possible. Fantastic stuff. But yeah, so it's two discs, opens up with When You Dance I Can Really Love, and right off the bat you're like, this is something special. They're just playing, they're attacking these songs. These songs sound just so energetic and alive and electric, and like how Neil has sustained this from like, late 70s, when he really sort of committed to it in the Rust Never Sleeps era, and then he completely doubled down and expanded it in the Ragged Glory era. And now we're like, almost a full half a decade, a little more than half a decade past that. And we're still pushing the envelope with what we do with like the Crazy Horse Neil Young guitar sort of just basic theory of what they are. And he's still just like pushing it without losing what is that sound. Barstool Blues is the reason to get this. 9 minutes. The actual song itself reminds me of Built to Spill. I think Built to Spill. I think Doug had to be a hardcore mid 90s Neil Young fan. So many of their later songs just have the vibe that this has. And then they just jam. It's like you get Barstool Blues for what, 3+ minutes, and then you get this 5.5 minute jam in which it could have been 1 minute long and it would have been fantastic. Could have gone on for another 15 minutes and I wouldn't have got bored. They just chose to end it after like 5.5. It's just this minimalist, propulsive, but at the same time, like bubbling, dynamic, guitar, rock, hypnotic, just amazing. Then we get When Your Lonely Heart Breaks. Where did I rank that? I don't think I had it ranked that high when I did that album, right? It's on Life. And it is the perfect song at the perfect time. It is so weirdly almost a 80s new wave song in a weird way. It's kind of hypnotic. It's very sparse. It was my least favorite song on Life. It is fantastic. It pairs so absolutely incredibly well with Barstool Blues. It is exactly what is needed because Barstool Blues almost seems like it should be the last song. It should be like an encore because you're beat and exhausted. It's like getting into the ring with like Mike Tyson for like 30 seconds. It's like 6.5 minutes. It's a pummeling listen. And whatever Your Lonely Heart Breaks is bringing in this performance is just, it doesn't really sound like Neil. It's a little more 80s new wavy, but in a really low key, intense, slowly burning way, like the good bands, not the pop bands. It's perfect. It works. Like I'm gonna go back and re-listen to Life and see what it is I missed. Like what is that version doing? Like I don't listen to that album enough to immediately be like, wait, why did I discount this version? Like this is the first time I've ever put these two things together that this is that same song. Like I knew it was, but you know. Mr. Soul, always fantastic. Like this almost like acoustic-y, harmonica infested bluesy version. It's got the little middle breakdown in the middle. It's fun. I think everything he does with Mr. Soul, a little bit slower, I think, a little like maybe just Neil's having a good time version of it, but fantastic. Absolutely, always fantastic. Big Time, it's perfect. It's the perfect song at the perfect time. It's pretty straight with the Broken Arrow version, almost the exact same length. But it's just such a good song. The guitar playing, the melodies the guitar plays, the structure of the song, the lyrics, the whole like going to do bow bow. It is so perfect because it's got this big crazy horse guitar sound, but it's not this pummeling experience that Barstool Blues was. So you're like, all right, we're back into something a little more epic, but I'm not just getting punched in the face over and over again. Then we get the electric Pocahontas. I don't think it's as good as any acoustic ones I've heard, but I'm all for doing it on one tour. It's a fantastic listen. It's weird to hear the melody kind of slowly, almost like stretched out a little bit. It just got a different feel to it, but I think it's a fun listen. And then the first disc closes out with Human Highway. Just a really nice sounding Human Highway. And it's on acoustic. So like they could have done Pocahontas acoustic, but they just chose not to. No big deal. And then disc 2 starts off with like maybe like the best 28 minutes or just the most sit on the couch, turn the lights down low, turn the stereo way up high, and just let yourself just get lost. We get a 11-minute slip away, and the ending jam in this really feels like at any moment it's just going to fade out and end. And that feeling goes on for like 3 or 4 minutes, and you don't want it to end, but it really has this sense of like, oh no, the music is slipping away and it's going to end way too soon. And then by the time the entire 11 minutes went through, you're like, wow, like somehow that never did slip away, and they managed to stretch out this vibe to just epic lengths. It's such a fascinating song. It's dark. It's got great dark melodies early on, and just to hear them like indulge in it in this live setting is amazing. Scattered, let's think about Living Follows, and it's the perfect antidote to that because it does have the scattered feeling, the mind scattered in the lyrics. The vibe is very scattered, but it fits really, really well between Slip Away and the 13.5-minute Danger Bird that starts. the tone on Neil's guitar and the way he's attacking before they ever get to the first vocals is just some of the most Neil Young Crazy Horse jam band stuff ever. It is just, it's just epic, epic. It is a band just taking this song that's decades old and just investing this whole new energy and this like grungy punk attitude and just pushing the envelope, but like staying true to what the song actually was. And like the elastic, weird, rhythmic nature of Crazy Horse just fits this perfectly. And just that slip away, scattered danger bird sequence is just like, it leaves you in this really happy daisy haze. And then they come out of it with Prisoners of Rock and Roll, which they jam like crazy at the end. Like, this is where a song, this is why you write a song like Prisoners of Rock and Roll, because after a set like this, you can do no wrong. Like, they could have come out and played one more Saturday night, and I would have been like, yeah, Neil, you do whatever you want. Like, it just works. And the lyrics, like, after what they just do to you for the last, like, hour plus, you're like, yeah, man, yeah. No, yeah, you're prisoners. This is great. And you're going to jam this out too? Of course you are. After that, we get the last song, Sedan Delivery. And at this point, early in the before the first song, Neil yells, "They're all the same song," or "They all sound the same." And then he yells again before Sedan Delivery, "You're going to smell the horse on this one." Something like that. I think it's "Smell the Horse." Then he goes, "You're the horse." Great Sedan Delivery. Like, all of the energy of the show is put into this. This gets the energy, the chaos, the breakdown, the weird transition in the middle. This gets everything it's supposed to have. It's absolutely fantastic. This is a ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous show. A ridiculous set, a ridiculous release. I believe there is a DVD of this. I just have the album. This one on Fish Tour with me in '98, along with this, along with the Further Tour. I did like the Further Tour and the Fish Tour all in like summer '98. This one on a this was part of the regular rotation. This CD, just a fantastic, fantastic, fantastic listen, and I just highly recommend it. If you have not heard this, like, change your life now. Go check it out. Eventually, I will rank these. I'm glad I'm not doing that now because, like, this and like anything from Crazy Horse in the '90s is just like, wow, man, they are just next level. Going back to the lady, oh, next level. But yeah, I highly recommend this. Get it. It's fantastic. Year of the Horse, Neil Young, 1997. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. Peace. Talk to you later.